Valmiki Ramayana, Ayodhya Kanda, Book Number 2, Sarga 34. Roman numerals XXXIV 34. Rama in the palace. The dark, incomparable chief, whose eye was like a lotus leaf, cried to the mournful charioteer, "Go, tell my sire that I am here." Sumantra said, and and all dismayed, the chieftain's order swift obeyed. Within the palace doors he hid, and saw the king, who wept and sighed. Like the great sun when wrapped in shade, like fire by ashes overlaid, or like a pool with waters dried, so lay the world's great lord and pride. Awhile the wise Sumantra gazed on him whose senses woe has dazed. Grieving for Rama, near he drew, with hands upraised in reverence due. With blessing first his king he hailed, then with a voice that well-nigh failed, in trembling accents, soft and low, addressed the monarch in his woe. The Prince of Men, thy Rama, waits before thee at the palace gates. His wealth to Brahmans he has dealt, and all whom in his home have dwelt. Admit thy son, his friends have heard his kind farewell and parting word. He longs to see thee first, and then will seek the wilds, O King of men. He, with each princely virtue's blaze, shines as the sun engirt by rays. The truthful king, who loved to keep the law profound as oceans deep, and stainless as the dark blue sky, thus to Sumantra made reply. Go then, Sumantra, go and call my wives and ladies, one and all. Drawn round me shall they fill the place, when I behold my Rama's face. Quick to the inner rooms he sped, and thus to all the women said, Come at the summons of the king, come all and make no tarrying. Their husband's word, by him conveyed, soon as they heard, the dames obeyed, and following his guidance all came thronging to the regal hall. In number 700 they, all lovely dames in long array, with their bright eyes for weeping red, to stand around Queen Kaushalya sped. They gathered, and the monarch viewed. One moment all the multitude. Then to Sumantra spoke and said, Now let my son be hither led. Sumantra went, then Rama came, and Lakshman, and the mighty dame. And as he led them on their guide, straight to the monarch's presence hied. When yet far off the father saw his son with raised palms toward him draw, girt by his ladies, sick with woes, swift from his royal seat he rose. With all his strength the aged man to meet his darling Rama ran, but trembling, wild with dark despair, fell on the ground and fainted there. And Lakshman wont in cars to pride, and Lakshman wont in cars to ride, and Rama threw them by the side of the poor miserable king, half lifeless with his sorrow's sting. Throughout the spacious hall up went 1,000 women's wild lament. Ah, Rama, thus they wailed and wept, and anklets tinkled as they stepped. Around his body, weeping through their their loving arms, the brothers too. And then with Sita's gentle aid, the king upon a couch was laid. At length to earth's imperial lord, when life and knowledge were restored, though seas of woe went o'er his head, with suppliant hand thus Rama said, Lord of us all, great king, thou art, bid me farewell before we part. To Dandak wood this day I go, one blessing and one look bestow. Let Lakshman my companion be, and Sita also follow me. With truthful pleas I sought to bend their purpose, but no ear they lent. Now cast this sorrow from thy heart, and let us all, great king, depart. As Brahma sends his children, so let Lakshman, me, and Sita go. He stood unmoved and watched intent until the king should grant consent. Upon his son his eyes he cast, and thus the monarch spake at last. O Rama, by her arts enslaved, I gave the boons Kaikeyi craved. Unfit to reign, by her misled, be ruler in thy father's stead. Thus by the Lord of men addressed, Rama, of virtuous friends the best, in lore of language duly learned, his answer reverent thus returned. 1,000 years, O king, remain o'er this our city still to reign. I in the woods my life will lead, the last of rule no more I heed. 9 years and 5 I there will spend, And when the portioned days shall end, will come my vows and exile o'er, and clasp thy feet, my King, once more. A captive in the snare of truth, weeping, distressed with woe and ruth. Thus spake the monarch, while the queen, Kaikeyi, urged him on unseen. Go then, O Rama, and begin thy course unvexed by fear and sin. Go, my beloved son, and earn success and joy and safe return. So fast the bonds of duty bind, O Raghu's son, thy truthful mind, that naught can turn thee back or guide, thy will so strongly fortified. But oh, a little longer stay, nor turn thy steps this night away, that I one little day, alas, one only, with my son may pass. Me and thy mother do not slight, but stay, my son, with me tonight. With every dainty please thy taste, and seek tomorrow mourn the waste. Hard is thy task, O Raghu's son, dire is the toil thou wilt not shun. For the lonely wood to flee, and leave thy friends for love of me. I swear it by my truth, believe. For thee, my son, I deeply grieve. Misguided by the traitorous dame, with hidden guile like smoldering flame. Now by her wicked counsel stirred, thou fain wouldst keep my plighted word. No marvel that my eldest born would hold me true when I have sworn. Then Rama, having calmly heard his wretched father speak each word, with Lakshman standing by his side, thus humbly to the king replied: If dainties now my taste regale, tomorrow must those dainties fail. This day departure I prefer to all that wealth can minister. Or this fair land no longer mine, which I with all her realms resign. Her multitudes of men, her grain, her stores of wealth, let Bharat reign. And let the promised boon which thou wast pleased to grant the queen ere now be hers in full, be true, O king, kind giver of each precious thing. Thy spoken word I still will heed, obeying all thy lips decreed. And 14 years in woods will dwell with those who live in glade and dell. No hopes of power my heart can touch, no selfish joys attract so much, as son of Raghu to fulfill with heart and soul my father's will. Dismiss, dismiss thy needless woe, nor let those drowning torrents flow. The Lord of rivers, in his pride, keeps to the banks that bar his tide. Hear, In thy presence I declare, by thy good deeds, thy truth I swear. No lordship, joy, nor lands I prize. Life, heaven, all blessings I despise. I wish to see thee still remain, most true, O King, and free from stain. It must not, sire, it must not be. I cannot rest 1 hour with thee. Then bring this sorrow to an end, for not my settled will can bend. I gave a pledge that binds me to, and to that pledge I still am true. Kaikei bade me speed away. She prayed me, and I answered yea. Pine not for me, and weep no more. The wood for us has joy in store. Filled with the wild deer's peaceful herds, and voices of 1,000 birds. A Father is the God of each. Ye in of gods, so scriptures teach. And I will keep my sire's decree, for as a God I honor thee. O best of men, the time is nigh. The 14 years will soon pass by. And to thine eyes thy son restore. Be comforted and weep no more. Thou with thy firmness shouldst support these weeping words who throng the court. These weeping crowds who throng the court. Then why, O chief of high renown, so trembled and thy soul cast down? Wow. Absolutely beautiful. This chapter is one last look at Rama by his father Dasharatha. One last attempt to persuade Rama to stay, and it failed. Rama is resolved to make sure that his father's word is kept true. Rama is fully resolved. And they had a little exchange. Rama and Dasharatha. Again, so beautiful to watch all these exchanges. All these like cultural, like really, really, really nice, sweet, brave, polite, cultured exchanges between Rama and his devotees like Dasharatha. Anyway, absolutely beautiful chapter. Very dramatic. Drama, word drama comes from Rama. Drama, Rama. Jai, Ramayana ki Jai, Roma Victa. Ciao.